So welcome to our June Business Roundtable event. We're really happy to have you all online joining us this morning. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome our newly elected Mayor Robert Crosland to give some opening remarks. So good morning, Mayor Crosland.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to be in this space today. I appreciate this roundtable. I think this is my second one attending, and I look forward to hearing all the comments from folks and the ideas. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. So my name is Dorothy Estrada. I'm the Community and Economic Development Coordinator. This is one of our quarterly roundtables that we host for the business and nonprofit community in Hyattsville. So we actually are still waiting for a few people to join online, but while that's happening, I would just like to go over a couple things in case you're new to joining us in the online space. So if you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A, or you can write them in the chat. Q&A would be preferred because then people can we can keep a log of what's being asked. We will leave time in between speakers for you to ask a few questions, especially for today's keynote. And at the end, more information about this later, we will be opening up our Wonder online networking space. For those of you that joined us in February, this will be a space that we had last time where you can actually turn on your camera and your mic and speak to some of the other participants. So we'll go over a little bit more about how to join that later, but we should be able to launch that shortly around 11:45 or so. All right, so just bear with me one moment as I'm checking on all of our panelists to make sure they're here. Right. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of what we will be discussing today. All right, so this morning's guest speaker is Alexander Austin. He just joined us online. Hi, Alexander. He will be giving our full main topic of today, which is about attracting talent and fulfilling workforce needs. Then we'll be discussing some updates from the city side. That would be the ARPA relief funds for businesses and nonprofits. Chief Towers will be giving some updates from the community action team side. We have Janet Townsend, who is speaking about a special opportunity for restaurants in particular. And then I'll be sharing a few updates about our grant program, parking night, and Shop Hyattsville for the holidays. And my colleague Taylor will be sharing some updates from the development side of the department before we move into the networking session on Wonder. Right, so Alexander, good morning. I can see you joined us online.
Good morning.
Morning. So I will just introduce you briefly and then give you the floor. So Mr. Alexander Austin is the Director of Business Services at Employ Prince George's. Employ Prince George's was founded in 2018, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Largo, Maryland. It's an economic driver for Prince George's County and the DC metropolitan region, and it provides nationally recognized community and workforce development programming. So with that, Mr. Austin, I will give you the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here this morning, and just to join you together to one, enhance the economic workforce of Prince George's County. Is there opportunity to, should I share my screen for the slides, or do you guys already have the slides prepared?
You should be able to share, so let me just make sure that's the case, and if not, I can certainly share for you.
Okay, I have it ready if need be, so if you don't mind sharing, that'd be great.
Okay, just one moment. Sorry. Swapping between many screens here. Oops, okay. All right, I think that, there we go, that should be the one.
Awesome. You know, as mentioned before, Prince George's Director of Business Services. You know, we are the workforce development arm with Prince George's County. And our primary focus and goal is connecting job seekers to employers. We can go to the next screen. So, you know, who we are, just kind of give an overview. You know, we are, again, the nonprofit organization based in Prince George's County, Maryland. And so we're primarily focused on, again, connecting job seekers to employers. And our primary responsibility is policy development and workforce activities that administer services and programs funded by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. We call it WIOBA, which was signed into law in 2014. And so, you know, when we're looking for opportunities, you know, we want to, again, use these sort of resources to link job seekers to employers, which again enhances careers, but also enhances the businesses within Prince George's County who are looking to maintain a stable workforce. Next slide, please. Again, I go back to it. Our mission is to improve the local economy. How do we do that? You know, we do that by creating a demand-driven workforce system in the county. You know, that includes workforce development programs, delivering qualified workers to businesses. This improves the productivity of businesses and provides job seekers with opportunity in high demand, high growth industries. And so there's a difference in providing a job seeker with a opportunity, which we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity, but we also have to be looking at those careers that are sustainable, one for the county, for the businesses, and for the residents who are seeking employment. You know, 70% of our base goes outside of the county for employment. So those high demand, high growth industries are critically important. Next slide, please. I've already mentioned before, we can go to the next slide. You know, we are the bridge between job seekers and employers. So what I want to kind of talk about today is just, you know, the different workforce boards within Prince George's County, just kind of give an overview. And as you can see, we are, I just lost my screen there. We are one of, I guess, 13 counties. 13 workforce boards within the county. If you could bring my screen back up, that'd be great, because I can't see it.
Are you still able to see the presentation?
I cannot, actually. I cannot see it at all. Here we go. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just lost it again.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so this is just a brief overview that, you know, I wanted to share. You know, all of the counties, you know, Prince George's County is we manage the public workforce system within Prince George's County. That is the Workforce Development Board. We also have the American Job Center Community Network. So why do I bring that up? We can go to the next slide. The American Job Center Community Network is established through several different entities that kind of make up the network. We have Government Workforce Board, Development Board, you have the Maryland Department of Labor, you have the Prince George's County Workforce Development Board, and Employ Prince George's, okay? And so collectively, those entities and all of the service providers, the government agencies, the American Job Centers, and the community networks make up the American Job Center Community Network. So what does that mean for the business owner? We can go to the next slide. So for the business owner, and I put this up here, I encourage all businesses to join the network. It gives you access to resources, service providers, training programs. The network is established. Again, it is administered by Employ Prince George's. And so when you want to know what's happening in the ecosystem, when you want to know what opportunities are available, if you're looking for training for a specific job classification that you're looking to bring on board, or you're looking to become a trainer within the industry, if you have a specific skills classification that has an impact in the region, this is where you want to go. And not only that, you're the first to know of all resources that come out, whether it's federally legislated funds or appropriated funds, state funds that will aid businesses with workforce recruitment and talent development. So that is something I would recommend for everyone. We can go to the next. slide. So as I was saying, the network itself, or the ecosystem, is really made up of multiple organizations who all kind of feed into this funnel. Community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, nonprofit organizations, libraries, government agencies, service providers, and educational institutions all make up the community network. And you can actually request to join. The email is listed there below. That's epgcd2@co.pg.nd.us. I'll say it again, epgcd2@co.pg.nd.us. Okay, we go to the next slide. We can actually skip this slide. So this is just kind of, going through what I've already mentioned. No need to, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you've heard me talk about this before. So I do want to share the 3 locations that we do have. We have the American Job Center in Largo, which is located at 1801 McCormick Drive. We have a Youth Career Center in Hillcrest Heights. And we have the American Job Center National Harbor, which was launched in September, October of last year. And it is state of the art. We have a lot of events there. I know my department, we have our rapid reemployment distributions. We're giving out checks at that center, taking pictures to get into community. And it's right at Tanger Outlet. So, you got employers there, you got foot traffic. So it's a great place, I think, to host customized events, training events, or information sessions if you need to. It's open to be used for the business community, and the same goes for Largo and Hillcrest Heights as well. Next slide, please. So I want to just kind of, talk about some of the things that are out there for your disposal, but I want to kind of get into a little bit more about Employed Prince George's and Business Service Departments. We go to the next slide. So, we have a unique team in Employed Prince George. You see a lot of us there in the photos. I think I'm there top left or top. Workforce service to 30,000, probably 30,000 plus job seekers at this point, and over 1,500 businesses. There's 75 partners in numerous locations across county that, again, go into that who we are. We're workforce professionals. Our goal within our 70, 80 person organization is to service the businesses and the job seekers. And so you have people dedicated every day from all functions, working on looking for the best resources. And you'll see us at events, you'll see us, really everywhere. You'll see the EPG logos now everywhere. So if you see us, ask us questions, you can stop and talk to us. We are more than willing to. There's information, right? That we are looking to get out. And so getting into the community, having that direct contact and communication is important, but also too, we want our business community to know, like, you can reach out, utilize it to your disposal. So one of the things that Employed Prince George's does is we service industry-specific programs. We have them here. I'll kind of talk about what they are, just kind of an overview. And so I'll start with our Encore program. Our Encore program is really focused and geared toward seasoned professionals, ages 55 plus, who are looking to get back into our career services department and our industry initiatives department. Individuals can register, get advice and access to job openings, get career coaching, but also go into what we call industry bridge. I'll talk about that in training programs. We have Career Pathways for All, which is really focused on our immigrant worker or foreign population who is looking to establish a career here in Prince George's County. We have Veterans Career Connection, focus on veterans, and we do a lot of work with veterans who are exiting the military, transitioning out in the reserves, maybe looking for additional careers. We have specialists that focus on that. Pathways to Success is rebranded. It was formerly our reentry program, but it is actually called Pathways to who are looking to enter the workforce once they come back home. Self-explanatory, Employ Prince George's COVID-19 Workforce Development Recovery Program. COVID-19 hit everybody.
Sorry, Mr. Austin, there seems to be a little bit of a lag. Maybe you could try turning off your video and that might help with the reception a little bit.
Okay, absolutely. How about now?
So far, so good.
Awesome, no worries. I'll start from Pathways to Success program and so forth. We focus on helping returning citizens gain employment, get trained, upskill to enter. If we go back to the previous slide.
Yes, we're on the demographic program slide.
Absolutely. So help returning citizens get trained, upskill. We also have signature events centered around reentry awareness. And so the next one is our Employ Prince George's COVID-19 Workforce Development Recovery Program. And so again, self-explanatory there, COVID affected everybody. Different forms of fashion, employers, job seekers, everything changed. And so that's one of our largest demographic programs because of the amount of people that were affected. Obviously, it's in the millions, and we break it down to local economies in the tens of thousands. And so that was really established as a result of what the pandemic had done with the labor force, getting people, again, back to work. Job seekers are restructuring, rethinking about how they want to advance their careers, change careers. And so we are seeing that shift and pivoting and created Career Connection. So the two programs at the bottom are Youth Career Connection and Keys. They fall within our Youth Services Department. And so Youth Career Connections is for in-school youth, ages 14, I believe 17, and then Keys is for individuals who between ages. And so we have an entire focus of populations entering the workforce and beginning to plan the later stages of the career in the workforce and everybody in the middle. And so, when you're thinking about as an employer, how you want to recruit, analyzing and understanding, okay, what is my demographic of the employees that I have in my establishment? Who do I want to recruit to? Where are the options available where I can utilize some of the training programs? I can also take advantage of the work opportunity tax credits that the IRS grants employers for hiring within these demographic or underserved demographics, which all of those that we mentioned fall into that category. So as a direct benefit of working with Employ Prince George's, you can immediately assume some of the tax credits that the IRS will give you just from hiring someone in Prince George's County and that fall within that demographic program. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, we have, you saw the 5 programs in youth services. All of those demographic programs in industries that we serve are tied to an industry bridge program. Now, what is an industry bridge program? Industry bridge program is geared toward helping job seekers obtain credentialing for industry-specific opportunities. And so these demographic programs that you see are directly tied to the 6 industries, and I'll get into in future slides, the 6 industries that we work with. So I'm kind of just walk you identified in a specific demographic, They'll identify certain opportunities that they may want to skill into and then be placed into an industry bridge program. And that's what you see here. So for healthcare, we have the Capital Area Healthcare Alliance. For IT, we have Education Partnerships for Services Institute. We have the Construction Works Program for our construction industry, Hospitality and Accommodations Institute for our hospitality and retail industries, which were also severely affected by COVID, and our newest regional effort, which is our transfer unique because the transportation industry, much like healthcare, have a huge need right now across the region. Everybody's dealing with the same kind of struggle. One, identifying talent, two, keeping talent long, and the opportunities that are out there. And so they're not as willing to stay in certain positions if they can get a higher wage somewhere else. They can work remotely. They can find jobs that are more amenable or comfortable to their current lifestyle. And so the goal, identify job seekers who have an interest and then get them trained and upskilled and match them to employers, and so that it works for both job seeker and the employer. And so, you know, these programs are really good. We have specific partners and training in here. And so if you are a training provider or interested in becoming a training provider, I would, one, join the American Job Center Community Network. I would also look to register on the local training provider list, which the state of Maryland training provider list. My sound sounds muffled. Okay, I will try to maybe speak a little bit more direct into the mic. Is this better?
We can hear you. I think the audio is breaking up sometimes, but we can try to keep going.
How about now? Better?
From my end, that's a little bit clearer.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So, you know, as I was saying, the Transportation Logistics Consortium, much like Capital Area Healthcare Alliance, those industries have a regional impact and effect on the local economy. There are a number of opportunities in all of the sectors, but particularly when we're seeing transportation and healthcare, understanding what larger employers are looking for, we're seeing opportunities in the hundreds for each of those industries, where one employer may need 100 positions to be filled. One employer we spoke with needed 700 positions to be filled, major hospital system, across their system in the region. We can go to the next slide. So now that we've touched on kind of some of the programs that we have, the core demographics, I want to kind of just talk a little bit about business services, which is why you're all here. We can go to the next slide. We are located, our headquarters is 1801 McCormick Drive. And so, you know, this is going to be kind of, we're going to repeat here, you're going to hear some of the same things, but the reason being is because that message resonates across job seekers, programs, strategic partners. You know, we're addressing the needs of significant business needs of employers who are looking to retain qualified talent. You've heard this before, but it's very, very true, because this is ongoing. It doesn't stop. You hire a good employee or a good set of employees, you're going to need more, because either they're going to advance, you're going to promote them, or, you know, you may find opportunities to expand your business, you're going to need more, right? And so we offer businesses in Prince George's County and the surrounding metropolitan area, you know, completely integrated talent support solutions. And so that, when I say that, that is very important, because your business is constantly growing, okay? Who you are today, who we were in 2018 is not who we are in 2022, right? The pandemic forced us all to reshape and rethink. But now that we've made that adjustment, I think that particular business model for all businesses, strategic partners alike, including Employer Prince George, will always continue to evolve. It will never be stagnant again. And I've seen this in employers that we work with. Internally, I've seen how our progression and growth has grown organically. And so integrated talent support solutions is really creating an ecosystem. And we do this by, hiring and training highly skilled business consultants who are with you, right? Our goal is to develop those relationships and to walk with your business as you are growing, increasing, scaling, navigating pandemics. We're here to be your consultant and advisor relative to workforce, and any resources that we have, we want to be able to share with those businesses alike. We can go to the next slide. So I think I talked about this a little bit, but let's kind of get a little bit more into it. One of the things that is a benefit from working with the business service department is a few things, actually. So the first one is by connecting with us. Number one, you get access to the Maryland Workforce Exchange, which has over 30,000 job seekers. And it is a free service, free database that the state of Maryland has. You're able to post your jobs in there for free. We also help you with structuring your job postings, identifying if your salary requirements, and also strategically position the job posting to be competitive in the market. We have a lot of conversations with employers where, the difference, if you're paying, on an hourly wage, the difference between being a top job posting or not could be the difference of 25 cents. I've seen it multiple times where now just that adjustment in knowing that, hey, I'm undervaluing this role comparative to the market. That labor market information is important. But when you work with us, this is the type of consultation that you receive. But not only that, we talked about incentives and tax credits, right? So by hiring for my demographic, you do receive a tax credit from the IRS. That's automatic. Pre-screening of candidates, which again, if you're a business owner, depending on how many hats you wear, you may not have time, right? You may not be able to, or know, hey, what do I need to necessarily ask? That's something that we can actually handle. Customized recruitments. I mentioned that with the American Job Center Community Network. So if you're looking at a specific demographic, you're looking at maybe having a specific hiring event or information session that's tailored to your business. Those are things that we can do. I mentioned free job postings, unlimited there, targeted and customized job fairs. So this is big. We have multiple platforms and processes in place where an employer, we've had job fairs for employers who are not located in the state of Maryland, but want to hire in Prince George's County. We have virtual platforms using Premier Virtual, which I love that platform. I think it's very functional for today's times and things that we want to do. And for an employer, if you have, again, limited capacity, you literally are able to use Premier Virtual as a tool to hire. If you want to have in-person hiring events, we can schedule that as well. But we have the team and staff in place that can help to structure it, get it going. We also have, on a quarterly basis, these large signature events, which have completely blown my mind every time I attend one, at the level of participation, engagement, and the audience that we see. We started our first event, we kicked off in November, and then we had a follow-up event in February. We had another one in May, and in between that, we had a reentry signature event or Pathways to Success signature event. And we averaged at each of those larger signature events, we averaged over 300 people. The first event, we had 600 people show up, and this is in November during the pandemic. We had 50 employers. We had about 35 or 40 resource partners there. It was a great event. The county executive came through and just kind of, blessed our initiatives and our efforts based on her vision. And so from there, the momentum has been going on. In February, we had about 350, almost 400 people. We had over 350 in May. Employers, we were partnered with Prince George's Community College. So these are opportunities where, as an employer, this is a part of working with Employer Prince George's. You can get involved into the hiring events. We can have customized events for you, but also can take part in the larger events, which brings you an audience, which brings resource partners. And so, when you talk about demographics, or you're talking about job seekers that are looking for employment, but let's say there may be some barriers there. You may find someone that you really like, and conversation is different when you're face to face versus when you're looking at a resume or even talking over a computer. But when you're meeting with someone face to face as an employer, you have a different, you get a different energy, you get a different vibe of whether, and your intuition starts kicking a little bit more of, hey, this gentleman or this young lady may be a good fit for a role that I have. I'm looking at their resume. Maybe there's some things that are great. Maybe there's some things that are not so great. But right there at the event, they have resources available that the job seeker can take advantage of, that you could utilize as an employer to make that work. I can't think of many places like that where you can do that in one day in a live setting. And so, one of the other things that we're going to get into are funding, right? So we have subsidized on-the-job training, but also we have another funding, which is called rapid reemployment. And so I can talk about how on-the-job training and rapid reemployment can work together. But for this slide, subsidized on-the-job training, which will cover up to 50% of the new hire salary. What's required there is basically there has to be an identified training program once you hire a new employee or new employees, and you have to identify within 12, the first 12 weeks, here are the things that we want to train the employees on that we've identified. Submit that paperwork, and what that does is it will pay net 30. So employee will start, they'll work, go through the training programs, will submit an invoice. Employer Prince George's will provide reimbursement for the amount submitted. So with all that I've mentioned, if there are additional questions, I encourage everyone to email us at our business services email, which is businessservices@co.pg.md.us. I'll say it again, it's businessservices@co.pg.md.us. Reach out to us for any questions, want to schedule a time to talk to one of our business consultants, participate in an upcoming hiring event, receive information about just what we have going on, or rapid reemployment, on-the-job training, business services in general. We are definitely here to help. We can move to the next slide. So it just kind of summarizing it, what we offer again, job seeker career services. We have youth services for youth. We have obviously services for businesses, and then resources. So this is something I didn't really cover too much, but on the resources tab, one thing is biweekly hot jobs. So you're able to get your jobs posted out to the network as soon as every 2 weeks. We post hot jobs, right? So you have them on the database. You can post them in other job boards, but those weekly hot jobs go out to a couple thousand, I would say probably 8,000 of our members, constituents, and contacts for your roles that you're looking for. It goes out to the 30,000 job seekers just here in the state of Maryland as well. But labor market information is another one that I didn't cover. I kind of touched on awareness and strategically positioning your job postings, understand your competitiveness. So one of the things that we do in the business service department and Employer Prince George's is focus on the labor market intelligence, right? The labor market intelligence, or the information, gives us the workforce. I'll say it a different way. The labor market information gives us the workforce intelligence and the ability to consult businesses on, hey, here's where some of the market in this job classification in this industry is commanding for salaries. Here are some viable skills that you may want to consider when you're evaluating how you want to recruit, how you want to hire. If there's a training program that you're looking to maybe administer, because there may be, I deal with a lot of government contractors, so government contractors who are preparing for that next award or next contract need to have skill staff in place that they can submit, or a plan in place when they submit with their proposal. So all of that information can help you plan, effectively and quarterly, and we can administer that from our department. We have a monthly newsletter that goes out and the Workforce Wire podcast, and you'll probably hear or see our CEO, Mr. Walter Simmons, bring in special guests. As a business owner, you may be a special guest, but these are valuable resources and tools that are at your disposal. There's no cost to it. What I can tell you is that there's a significant return on investment with working with Employer Prince George's that has, when you factor in the cost of training employees, you factor in the cost of recruiting, what it costs to hire third-party recruiters, and where we offer the exact same services, and it's already been prepaid, so the investment has already been made in you. And so, from our perspective, when we work with a business, we're putting that investment right back into you. And so, again, I would encourage everyone to reach out to us and let us see how we can help you and help scale your business and grow your business. Next slide, please. So I mentioned, I'm tying this all together. I mentioned the 6 industry bridge programs previously. And I mentioned that they were all tied into 6 industries that we focus on here at Employer Prince George's. One of the industries is healthcare and social services. That is tied to the Capital Area Healthcare Alliance. The next industry is information technology. That is tied into education, partnership for IT careers. Transportation and Logistics Consortium, tied to the Transportation and Logistics Consortium. Hospitality and Accommodations, tied to the Hospitality and Accommodations Institute. Professional Services, tied to the Professional Services Institute. And Construction and Real Estate, tied to the Construction Works Program. Now, these 6 industries are really a consolidation of the 13 in-demand industries within Prince George's County. And so what we've done is kind of, looked at the correlations between industries, say, okay, construction and real estate kind of go together, transportation, logistics, that's warehousing, go together, hospitality, retail, accommodations, they all go together. And so healthcare, social service, et cetera. But we have a consultant in place for all of these industries, and you have a dedicated specialist, subject matter expert who studies the market, understands what's happening in the local economy, and can provide a level of expertise that is necessary for businesses to sustain, to be sustainable, but also to know that you got to trust a partner here. So next slide, please. So I would be remiss not to mention this. This is a big, big program. I'm very, very proud of it. This program falls within my department specifically. And so when the pandemic hit, our local leaders, federal officials saw the need and had developed a recovery program called the COVID-19 Workforce Development Recovery Program. And there are several components that, as you can see, that were direct focus of that program. One of them is called Rapid Reemployment. And so we have a grant called the Rapid Reemployment Grant Program, in which it is directly focused on employers who want to hire unemployed Prince George's County residents. We've had a significant amount of traction with this program. I would encourage all employers who have an interest to apply, to get more information. I've never seen anything like this in my professional career. And I believe, we have till 2024. But while this program is in place, if you're looking, again, to scale, if you're looking to hire in your local community, this is the program. It does not have a lot of red tape to it. We do a very good job of making sure that the business is structured. There are several things that need to happen. You got to be registered in Maryland Workforce Exchange. You have to be in good standing with the state of Maryland. You have to have a certificate of liability insurance of $1 million. These are all things that you need to do that benefit your business. That's all we're asking. You have to have a W-9, and you have to hire an unemployed Prince George's County resident. The rest is up to us. We go to the next slide, please. So what it does, okay, once we've gotten all that paperwork in, again, W-9, registered in the Maryland Workforce Exchange, certificate of liability insurance of $1 million, and I mentioned the W-9 before. and you hire unemployed Prince George's County resident, what it will do, depending on the size of your business, is it will award up to 50% or 75%. If your business is larger than 199 employees, it'll be 50% of the business, 50% of the salary for 12 weeks. If you have less than 199 employees, it will be 75% of the employee salary for the first 12 weeks. The grant will award a business up to $15,000 per new employee that they hire. So if you hire 5, kind of do the math. If you hire 10, kind of do the math. And so this is open to all businesses. At one point in the grant program, we were only looking at private companies, nonprofits as well. But now it can be nonprofits, local agency, government agencies, municipalities. Everybody can receive a grant. And so we have given out in this fiscal year for us, over $4 million in rapid reemployment grants to 250 businesses, and we've hired over 500 job seekers. So I would encourage everyone to take advantage of this program. It is good for Prince George's County, it's good for the local economy, it's good for business, and it's great for the job seekers who are looking to get employment. We can go to the next slide, please. So how do you apply for the grant? You can apply at www.employeepg.org/rapid grants. www.employeepg.org/rapid grants. Next slide, please. So in a nutshell, you've seen information about the American Job Center Community Network, what's involved in there. You've seen the demographic programs that we administer. You've seen information about the Business Service Department, the industries we serve. You understand some of the programming that we have through rapid reemployment. But in a nutshell, what we do is, and our goal is putting our workforce back to work. Next slide, please. So that concludes my presentation. If there are any questions or that I can address, I'm available.
Thank you so much, Mr. Austin. I think that was very informative, and you know, just for our businesses online, we chose this topic and we wanted to pull in EPG because, you know, with the Great Resignation, with you know, the pandemic starting to hopefully recede, and with kind of businesses starting to return slightly back to normal, these kinds of resources are instrumental. And so for everybody who has been joining, please don't feel like you have to do it alone. Mr. Austin highlighted so many great resources for you all to look at to bring on some new employees to help you with your growth. So thank you.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
So we do have a few minutes for questions. So if you have a question, please just write it in the chat or the Q&A box. Maybe in the meantime, while we're, you know, answering a few questions, I'm also going to be launching a poll. Just would like to hear from some of the people online with us what they consider their biggest barrier at the moment to retaining or attracting talent. So we can maybe have some insight from that. Mr. Austin, maybe a question from my side. You know, we have a pretty diverse mix of businesses in the Hyattsville community. A few, you know, in our Route 1 corridor are part of the Gateway Arts District, and you were mentioning kind of the 6 industry areas. Are there any kind of specialized programs that are geared toward arts and creative industries employers?
No, we don't have anything that is heavily focused on that industry. What we do is we classify that into our hospitality retail industry, and what we do in our arts recreation, and I guess yeah, I'll just say the arts recreation, because we work with a number of different organizations and employers who provide either services through the music industry, theater. And so that is kind of our focus, to kind of make sure that we can look at all industries across the county.
Great, thank you. Do we have other questions for Mr. Austin about any of the programs he highlighted or the business services department? Yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Austin. Just a question, are you all open now for people to walk in and get individual counseling? You may have said that, but I did not hear it. I'm sorry, but I may have missed it. But for individuals looking for jobs, are you all open so that at one point pre-COVID, people were able to come in and sit down with counselors and get assistance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Actually, it's funny you say that. I was at the American Job Center National Harbor on Monday. And so we had an event, actually it was last Thursday as well. I had an event, and I actually thought the young lady was a business owner because we had a bunch of business owners come in, and she was actually walking in to apply for a job. She was at 10-year outlets.
Okay.
And so we encourage that because the perception is that facilities are still closed. And there's restrictions, okay, but it's not as bad, as bad as it was, but definitely go in. I think this is probably a better time because of the reluctance of most individuals, where it used to be 1,000, we would average 1,000 people a month. It may be, 600 or 700, but that creates more opportunities to get that one-on-one attention from the career counselor.
Good. Yeah, I've heard from several businesses that they were having a hard time hiring, and I was surprised about that. But of course, that was right towards the middle to end to now we're back on the rise again of COVID. But it was in that kind of odd time, and so I just wondered if people who are actually looking can be matched with some of those agencies. So thank you very much for some of those businesses. Thank you.
Sure.
I'm just sharing the results of our poll. So when we asked you all what your biggest barrier is, a lot of people said that they're not able to afford new staff. Hopefully, for those that are in that position, you could think about taking advantage of this COVID-19 workforce program that Mr. Austin mentioned. And then second to that would be can't find suitable candidates or the staff lacks skills needed. Followed by unsure how to promote my job listing. And Mr. Austin, I think you listed some of the very strategic approaches that you and your team take to help businesses with those two areas. So thanks for everyone who participated in the poll.
That's great. Is there opportunity to receive a copy of the poll?
Definitely. Yep. We can send all of that. And yes, I know we were having a little bit of technical difficulties in the front end, but just again, for everyone online, this session has been recorded and we'll also share the slides afterwards. So everyone will have access. Any other questions for Mr. Austin? All right. Well, thank you so much. We very much appreciate your time online with us this morning. We certainly will encourage our business community to reach out for the services at Employee Print Storages. And I think we'll be in touch again about some other opportunities with Hyattsville. So thank you.
Absolutely. This has been wonderful. Thank you all for the time and allowing me to speak this morning. It's been great. Please reach out to us. I'm going to put our email in chat.
Great. All right, so I will just move to the next part of our agenda here to get us going. Bear with me 1 second. Lots of windows are open. So we'll move into some of the updates that the city would like to share with you all today. The first on the agenda is that we'd like to share an update about the American Rescue Plan Act funds. So I will give the floor to Chrissy Humbird, who is our development, I'm sorry, that's my role, our small business recovery coordinator. Chrissy, I think you should have the ability to share, but let me know if you need me to.
Thank you. Give me just a moment. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Christy Humbard. I am the Small Business Recovery Coordinator for the City of Hyattsville, and I'm going to walk you through the Small Business Grant Program, Relief Program. We know most business owners suffered some financial harm during the pandemic. In creating the eligibility requirements for this grant program, we tried to target businesses that were most significantly impacted by the pandemic. We also listened to the feedback from council and the community and worked that into our requirements to the best of our ability. Council approved the program Monday night, and so we can move forward. So on this first slide, we have just a general, there's $900,000 for the Business Emergency Relief Program, and businesses will be able to apply for up to $25,000 per business. Some of the eligibility requirements are the business must be located in the city of Hyattsville. I'm sorry, did I, my screen? Can you all see the Small Business Relief Program screen?
Yep, I think we can.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So businesses must be located within the city of Hyattsville. It must be a small business with fewer than 250 employees. We chose that number because there are a few small regional chains that we wanted to be able to include in the program. They must be independently owned and operated. Business must maintain a class 1, 2, or 3 business license and be in good standing with the city of Hyattsville. Business must have been fully operational in February 2020 and must be currently fully operational. The eligibility criteria continued. There must be a demonstration of negative economic consequences during the pandemic, and you must meet any one of the below factors. The Treasury Department has identified some certain industries as being disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. The travel, tourism, and hospitality industry, the qualified census tracts, and the personal care services industry. So the hospitality industry will be the restaurants and bars in Hyattsville. The qualified census tract is the area near the mall at Prince George's and University Town Center. And then we were able to use some data from the state of Maryland to create to show that personal care services industry was also disproportionately impacted. And those will be the hair salons, barbershops, nail salons, massage studios, tattoo shops. All of those fall into that industry. These industries are considered universally impacted and do not require business financials to establish economic need. Other class 1 and 2 businesses would be eligible to apply, but they would need to establish financial harm by showing 2019, 2020, 2021 federal and state tax returns, indicating an operating loss, reduction in revenue, or decrease in profits. Sorry, let's see here. The program, grant amounts. Class 1 license, businesses with a class 1 license will be eligible for $5,000. Businesses with a class 2 license will be eligible for $15,000. And businesses with a class 3 license will be eligible for $25,000. Businesses who have to show financials to establish a negative economic consequence will be awarded the amount, the actual harm established if it's less than the award amount for that class. All right. Exclusions for the program, professional offices, including medical, property management, attorneys, and other offices, national chains and franchises, the class 4 license, which is listed on the screen here, but basically auto body shops and savings and loan, banks, gas stations. Those are all national in scope here in Hyattsville. And then the class 5 license are the big box national stores, which are excluded under the guidelines. Just a little bit of a potential reach. We know that other communities of similar size have a 30 to 40% application rate. We're hoping to have a higher utilization for our program, and we'll be doing a lot of outreach to businesses over the summer to get folks to apply. But there are 167 licensed businesses in Hyattsville that are identified as disproportionately impacted, which is 31% of businesses. So those folks would have the streamlined application process. And then, like I said, we're in the process of creating the application. Council just approved the program this week, so we hope to have it online by early July. We're definitely eager to get this money back into the community. And I just wanted to quickly go over the permit expediting program, which is $100,000 that is going to go toward permit expediting fees if a business needs to pull a permit for expansion or new signage or anything like that. We have a reimbursement program. It will be up to $2,500 for the permit expediting fee, and eligibility criteria has to be located in the city of Hyattsville, has to be a small business, similar to the other program, must maintain a current class 1, 2, or 3 business license and be in good standing, or the applicant is requesting a permit for the purpose of opening a new business in the city. The reimbursement is only eligible for one expediting fee. And there will be a list, there's a list that we will provide with county approved peer review program vendors to choose from for the permit expediting. There's our contact info. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I think I'll be in the Wonder group as well after if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Christy. So in case you still have questions about your business license class, that link has been posted in the chat. And yes, as Chrissy said, we'll be opening the Wonder Space online. And if you have specific questions, you can go navigate to her and speak with her one-on-one. I know that was a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions? Again, this process is not open yet for applications, but it will be soon. And I think, Chrissy, you laid out a lot of good guidelines about what to expect if you're a business looking to benefit from this money.
Yes, so we're also planning to do an FAQ just to go along with the application process to answer a lot of the questions.
Excellent. All right, it's a little quiet in the Q&A chat, but yes, please do write questions if you have them. And again, I'll post the link to the city's website, hyattsville.org/rescue plan, where a lot of this information is going to be available.
Patrick, did you want to go over the nonprofit program quickly?
Sure, I'm happy to. Howdy, everyone. I'm Patrick Pashal. I am the American Rescue Plan Program Manager for the city of Hyattsville. I don't want to take too much time because I know this is a small business focused group, but I just wanted to share that there are also nonprofit relief programs that the council has passed. And these are going to sort of largely mirror the way that we've managed the small business relief programs in terms of requiring similar eligibilities. It must be a 501c3 or a 501c19 nonprofit organization to be eligible. That's a function of the statute itself, the law. And we'll have similar demonstration of negative economic consequences requirements as well for nonprofits with up to $25,000 awarded. We're also opening a child care assistance relief fund. This is going to be a request for proposals for for-profit or nonprofit child care providers to propose new programs that will increase the availability of childcare and aftercare seats in the city of Hyattsville and available to City of Hyattsville residents. So there are more details about those, both of those programs available both in the video from the meeting on Monday evening, the 6th this week, as well as the individual relief programs and the food assistance programs from May 16th. And then, as Dory mentioned, all of these resources are available at hyattsville.org/rescue plan. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Patrick. Great. So thanks to both of you. I would say we could move along to our next point that we'd like to share, which would be updates from the community action team. And Tracy, I believe you're speaking on behalf of the chief today.
Yes, Dory, I am. And Chief sends his apologies. He is not able to be here today. Before I mention the one or two things for Chief, I do want to just say we're really excited that we have the ARPA business program up and running, or at least now defined. And so I want to encourage you to reach out to them if you have any questions, to Patrick and Chrissy. They've worked really hard on this. The council did, as they said, approve this. And so we just think this is a tremendous way to be able to assist and support our businesses. So my thanks to Patrick and Chrissy. And I just want to encourage all of the businesses online, if you have need and you're concerned about whether you qualify and how you apply, please feel free to reach out to them. I do want to say that Chief is unable to be here today. I reached out to him just a short time ago. And he still is not available to jump on. So I want to just mention a few important things. One is on public relationships, very, very important to our chief of police, Jared Towers. He was on the meeting the last business roundtable, so he was able to introduce himself at that time. He has not been able to get out in the community as much as he would like, but he expects to be able to do more of that this summer as he hires additional leadership. He is now in the process of making some critically needed selection for promotion in the department. And so he'll have a little bit more help and assistance. He did get approval to hire an additional CAT team member, community action team member. That's really important because the community action team is the one that you all see the majority of the time. That's Chris Evans, Officer Chris Evans and Officer Jessica Lucas. They do their best to get out in the community with Nola, who is now their partner, their dog Nola, and they will continue coming around visiting businesses and visiting within the community. If you have a need to speak with them, the chief or the community action team, please feel free to email Chief directly or email chief@hyattsville.org. I do want to also say that we did budget and have received approval for 2 additional mobile CCTV trailers. And that was because we had a lot of requests for people to put a camera in and around a corridor in an area. And so we did receive approval for 2 more of those. Again, as we watch crime statistics, they'll be able to make some decisions about where we'll move those cameras. But you're always welcome to reach out to Chief to get more information about that. Finally, 2 other things. Segways, we hope to get those back out on the street here this summer. Those allow the officers to be a little more close and personal with our residents and with our businesses. Most of you know there is a national shortage and challenge with recruiting and hiring and then retaining police officers. So we are working really hard to build up our department. And once we do that, we will, they'll be able to get on the segways a little more. We've got candidates in the pipeline. And so we're really hoping that this summer is going to be a turnaround for us and we'll be able to get some additional staff. And then finally, the clean and safe team. That is primarily a DPW function, but it is a DPW, Department of Public Works function in collaboration with the police department. So the clean and safe team is designed to go in some of the commercial corridors. Mr. Austin, EPG was extremely helpful to us in standing up that clean and safe team because we use some returning citizens for that. There's been some transition since then, But we do have that team that goes out, and their primary goal is to just kind of beautify the area, make sure that our business corridors are clean and that we have that people feel safe and that they can acknowledge and welcome people as they're walking from the metro, etc. So we are trying to revive that team. We expect to have the last 2 people hired on that team. And so you will start seeing more of that. And that again is a collaboration with the police department, because part of keeping people safe is doing outreach to the police if they find that there is a need for maybe things like loitering or crime, etc. So I think that's about it. I do want to just remind everyone, chief@hyattsville.org. If you need to talk to me specifically about any of our departments or anything that we're doing, it's cityadministrator@hyattsville.org. And that's all I have. I will turn it back over to you, Dory.
Thank you. Just a quick question, Tracy. Did Chief Towers mention anything about National Night Out this summer? Is
No.
that coming back?
He did not, but that is coming up. That is coming up. I don't have all the details on it right now, so I'm not able to state that, but I will put something in the chat.
No problem. We'll
Okay.
follow up about that. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. So we will move on to now some guest speakers. So I'm going to promote you to panelists. Just bear with me one moment. So we have Janet Townsend, who may have already been promoted in the chat. Just one. Yes, Janet's here. John Tabori and Pat Parker. Janet, you now have the floor. So Janet is with CCAR, which is the Central Kenilworth Avenue Revitalization Group. She will give you more background, and she is going to give a presentation about their work related to community meal donations. Janet, I can see you are a panelist, so you should have the ability to speak and unmute yourself. Or maybe Patricia, would you be able to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about the initiative?
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Great. Jan Townsend has a wonderful PowerPoint that she wanted to show everyone to really give a good idea about the program. This program, which we've been serving Hyattsville for a little bit more than a year here. And we also participate with a couple of your nonprofits too in the program, which is a restaurant meal program. And this is an economic development initiative where restaurants that have been adversely affected, we provide $10 per meal to residents that are having difficulty because of food insecurity. We have been working with Shortcake Bakery, who has provided some very healthy meals at St. Jerome's. We also have worked with Emeritas. They too have provided meals for St. Mark's. And we've had sizable distribution in the Hyattsville community. We want to continue that effort because my colleague here is really versed in giving you more exact data to really show you that often people are feeling that, well, the pandemic is over, the restaurants are good. It looks like everyone's come back to the restaurants. But many of the restaurants have had to cut some elaborate deals with their landlords. So they've really got some challenges because those deals have evaporated and everything has come due. They're still trying to get many of their workers back to. And as we know, there has been an uptick, a slight uptick in what restaurant workers are looking for. So I'd like to turn this over to John Tabori, and John can speak most directly through data.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing us to present. A couple of points on data. The restaurant business employed here in tabletop restaurants or white cloth restaurants, approximately 8,500 individuals in the pre-pandemic era. They currently only employ 7,000. So you can see that the recovery in that industry has been very slow. And if you look at the number of jobs at the lowest point, it was a little over 4,000. And so the recovery is only 75% or around there of the individuals. There has been some recovery in salaries or wages for restaurant workers. It has improved during this period, but it's just sort of barely in line with inflation. So if you divide their wage gains by inflation, which is a kind of a standard procedure, it's almost flat in terms of purchasing power for the employees. The big problem that you see with the fact that they have less employees now than they did in, I think it was March 2020, which was the peak. It may have been February. My memory on that is a little bit hazy. That means that they're also doing much less business. Restaurants are employee intense, if you will. They're workforce intense businesses, and much of the money that they make is very much indicated by how many employees they have. And there are other businesses which are in the world of technology. That's not true. The employees are not the major cost factor, and they are not an indication necessarily of how well the company is doing. In the restaurant business, it's how many employees you have, because that means you have lots of customers and you need to serve them. All right. So there's no question that the program that we've invented, we have some models from other parts of the country that we used, but the program that we invented is somewhat unique because it supports both restaurants and individuals that are food insecure. I don't know whether you have received a copy of the presentation by Jan, but in it we note that there are about 100,000 people, which is a little over 10% of the Prince George's County that are food insecure population. Obviously, that's concentrated in the lower income individuals. So amongst lower income individuals, that percentage is probably in the area of 30%, if not more. The unemployment rate in Prince George's County is higher than it is in the surrounding counties. And has not fully returned to the employment rate that we had previously. There were 322,000 jobs in Prince George's County. There are currently only about 310,000. But if you think about that as a percentage, the rest of the job market has done better than the restaurant job market. And so we think this program does an excellent job of returning value, if you will, to every dollar invested. In that we help restaurants stay in business and reduce the debt that they are incurring and have incurred. At the same time, we serve a huge number of individual meals, well over 30,000 since we started, of which about close to a third are in Hyattsville. And
if I might too, I pulled up just on my cell phone Jan's presentation, and we have in here just some data that is just specific to Hyattsville. Two of our most active distribution sites in Hyattsville, as I mentioned, were St. Jerome's Church and St. Mark's Church. And the meals at these sites remain still in very high demand. And their distribution managers have been especially appreciative of our contributions to Hyattsville residents. The Hyattsville restaurants assisted have been Emerita's, Papusa's, and Shortcake Bakery, both of which were struggling to survive if we had not included them. Since July 2021, we purchased 1,675 meals at a value of $16,750 from these two restaurants and distributed them in the city of Hyattsville. Since August 2020, we have distributed 10,155 meals in Hyattsville, value at $101,550 at sites in your community. And we've also made donations of meals to Meals on Wheels. The impact of all of this has been great. And, you know, this is a program that needs to be continued. And in order for it to be continued, we certainly have to have resources. And that brings us to where we are with you today.
Yes, could you maybe speak toward, so we're working on trying to pull up the presentation, but you are looking for restaurant partners from our people online today, is that correct?
No, we are always looking for restaurants who can provide a healthy, balanced meal, so that we can include that in the distribution system. So we're interested, of course, in increasing the number of restaurants that we can work with in Hyattsville, but and more importantly, there are still many people who are food insecure. So we also want to make sure that sites like St. Jerome's and St. Mark's continue to receive the distributions from these restaurants. So we are seeking your support.
Yeah, we are. it's really important for us to get your support. And we hope you can do that. I might add that food insecurity is not equally distributed in Prince George's County. And in fact, if you look at the inner Beltway area, most of the food insecurity is concentrated there. There are some spots here and there outside of it, but most of it's concentrated in the belt inside the Beltway, which means that Hyattsville has a larger proportion of food insecure individuals than other areas.
John and Patricia, this is Jim Chandler. I was curious, can you drop some of your contact information in the chat? And again, we'll be sharing this afterwards, and anyone interested in participating will be sure to have them in contact with you all.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We will do.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing us to speak.
Certainly.
Thank you both very much. And Jan, I just received your email with the presentation. We'll make sure that goes out with the materials that are a follow-up for this event today. And thank you all for the great work you're doing in the community. So with that, I would say we could move to the next points on the agenda. I will just share my screen. Bear with me one moment, please. All right, so I will be sharing just a couple quick economic development updates from our department. Let me make it full screen for everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go forward a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that I think many people online know about is that we have a grant opportunity from the city open right now. This is the Corridor Investment Program. I've seen a few applications trickle in already, which is wonderful. Just to remind everybody that this grant cycle is open until July 12th. This is a funding opportunity for both private and nonprofit partners. There are 3 funding categories in this grant. One is for programming up to $1,500. That could be a one-day event, but it has to be open to the general public. The second is public placemaking. That's up to $2,500. That can be something like a beautification of your storefront, planters, seating area, etc. And the third is a business development grant, which is up to $5,000. And that one is targeted toward if you would like to have support with marketing, bringing on a consultant, having a workshop, that type of thing. So just to remind you that that is open now and you can apply. It is a very short application and it is online. I've posted the application link here, hyattsville.org, and then it's grants for Hyattsville businesses. The second thing is that I'd like to announce, if you haven't heard already, that Parking Day is returning in September. We're very excited about this. If you haven't heard of Parking Day, this is a really great event. It's an international event where residents basically collaborate to temporarily transform spaces into metered parking spaces into pop-up public places. And it's sort of kind of about rethinking the use of public space. We haven't been able to hold this event for 2 years because of the pandemic, sadly, but we're really happy to announce its return on September 16th. And in preparation for that, we will be holding an info night that will take place on June 22nd. We will have this at the city building, but due to COVID, we've decided to host it outside. So we will set up a space likely in our parking lot here at the city building from 6 o'clock. And we actually will have a demo Parking Day space set up with our materials so you can see what we mean and what is possible in the space. As a business or an organization, if you'd like to participate, you and your team will get free t-shirts and you'll also get a $100 gift card to utilize for supplies to set up your Parking Day space. And we'd like to hold this info night pretty well in advance so you have enough time during the summer to think about what you want to do in your parking space. I wasn't here for the 2019 event, but I've heard really great things. We had a photographer, we had some yoga, and there's a lot of really creative things that you can do, and we're looking forward to having you join us so we can share more examples. Oh, and sorry, if you'd like to register for that, it is now open on the city's website. It's the link at the bottom, hyattsville.org/parking day. And so it is summer or almost summer, but that also means it's not too early to start thinking ahead about Shop Hyattsville for the holidays. So I have a quick survey I will launch in just a moment, but this program we had last year also to really encourage residents to get out and support our local businesses. This included a discount card program, but for this year, first of all, we would really like to start planning earlier in advance. In addition, we really would like to support organizing a group to assist with marketing and implementation of this event. We hope that we can do this discount program again. These discount cards came in the mail and people were able to use them at applicable businesses. I'm going to launch the poll, but Jim, do you have anything else you'd like to add on this topic while I'm doing that?
Hi, Dory. As Dory said, you can never get too much of a head start on this. And I know it seems a little awkward we're asking this in June, but based on prior history, trying to coordinate these events, September, October, November get busy, and it's here before we know it. And so in terms of specifics about, how to coordinate a campaign, we would like to hear from the business community and try to have most everything in place, early part of November, so that really we coincide with Small Business Saturday, and we carry the campaign through the start of the new calendar year. And so if you have ideas about how you would like to interact, certainly we're all ears and open to outside the box thinking, and but also want to ensure we're able to deliver quality in terms of a program and a sort of cohesive vision.
Thank you so much. Yep, so I will share, the poll is still open right now, but I'm asking you all if you're interested. And so for 100% of you who said yes, that's great. And then as far as how you'd like to be involved, it seems like a lot of you would be willing to help us co-advertise the event. That's excellent. Some of you are interested to help volunteer to organize this, also great. And a few of you are even interested to stay open later on a select day or dates for holiday shoppers. And we will again be printing signs, these Amo Local, Love Local signs for your stores. And yes, okay, so a lot of you are indicating your interest in the discount program too. Wonderful. So I will just end this and share the results with you all. Thank you for that quick feedback, and you can expect a follow-up from our side about this event in the coming weeks. All right, so let me just move to the next slide. And the last thing from my side is just a quick reminder. You've probably already seen this in your inbox or in the mail or from different notices from our department, but please remember that your city business license renewal is due by June 30th this year and every year. It's an annual license renewal. This is very easy to do, and it can be renewed on the online application form at hyattsville.org/permits. Or if you prefer an in-person appointment at the city building, that is also a possibility. But just please remember that up-to-date licenses are required in order to be eligible for city grant funding. We need to see that you are a legitimate registered business in the city before we can consider you for things like ARPA funding, as Chrissy and Patrick mentioned, or for our city grants like CIP. And with that, I will turn it over to our city planner, Taylor Roby, to share some of the development updates that are going on in the city. Taylor, the floor is yours.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to provide 3 brief updates on some development that is making progress in the city. We're going to start with the Rhode Island Trolley Trail project. This is a bike ped connection, new bike ped connection between the existing Rhode Island Trolley Trail system, which is in the Riverdale Park area and the College Park area, and connecting that trail to the Northwest Branch Trail, which is part of the Anacostia Tributary Trail system. We're excited that construction is expected to begin this month, and that project will take about 18 months to complete. We have a link here on the slide, and I can drop it in the chat. SHA has developed a tracking website so that if you're interested in staying up to date on this project and its progress, that would be the place to do so. The next project is the Canvas apartment building. For those that are not familiar, this is at 5300 Baltimore Avenue, and is a mixed use development. It will be commercial space on the ground floor and then residential above. Once it's completed, it'll be about 284 units, 3,000 square feet of commercial space, as well as a structured parking garage. Construction on this site has begun, and we're expecting completion in the fall of 2023. And then the last project I'm going to talk about is the Riverfront at West Hyattsville project. This involves the Kaiser Permanente Medical Office building, as well as a townhome community and 2 multifamily buildings adjacent to the West Hyattsville Metro. The Kaiser Permanente Medical Office is wrapping up construction, and we're anticipating completion this October. The townhome community is currently under construction. The first multifamily building has been approved, and we're anticipating construction to begin in later this year in 2022. And then lastly, the other multifamily building is still pending submission. So TBD as to when construction and whatnot will begin on that portion of this project. Yeah, as always, if you have any questions about development within the city, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on this slide. Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor. So I saw we have a couple questions in the chat and in the Q&A. Yes, Samia is asking that in their business location, there's heavy homeless population. What services are available to take care of the homeless in Hyattsville near PG Plaza? I don't believe that Tracy is still online with us, but I think that this is a concern that can be addressed with the Hyattsville PD. Jim, do you have further comments for that?
Yeah, good morning again. So on a couple of fronts, one is our community services department does work with services through Prince George's County for folks that are seeking out opportunities for housing. And so that is sort of one element. The other piece of the intervention is some of the community policing. And our police department does a very good job of going out, speaking with folks who are without shelter, and getting a sense of whether or not they're seeking out opportunities and helping make those connections. So if there are any details that you can share with me, I'll put my email in the chat, and certainly we can route this to both our community services director and chief of police, and they'll be in contact with you, and we can see if we can help address the issue.
Thank you. Are there any other general questions about content that you've just heard from the city's department side? I know we've thrown a lot of information at everyone online with us. So with that being said, I would just invite everyone to join us in a few moments on Wonder. I will show you what that is. So here's the link. Please open the link if you plan on joining us, but don't join yet because you'll need to close Zoom. Let me explain. So Wonder is an online networking space. We utilized this again back in February. When you enter, again, with this link I've just put in the chat, you'll be taken to a space that looks like this nice outdoor lounge. Here we've set up 4 little mini topics. If you would like to meet with us one-on-one, have questions, just want to comment about some things, this will be your chance to just kind of have some say on what we've been discussing. Up here in the corner, Shop Hyattsville for the holidays. Down here, parking day. Over here about development, and then over here with ARPA. So Jim, Chrissy, myself, and Taylor will be stationed around these areas until about noon. if you would like to come on and have a chat with us or ask any questions. So again, click that link that I've just dropped in the chat. We will be closing the Zoom in just a moment, and then you just will allow your browser access to your microphone and your video in order to be able to chat with people on Wonder. Your face will appear as a little bubble, and you can basically use your mouse to navigate to these different areas to chat with us. When you are close to someone else's bubble, you can start talking to them. All right. So I'll give everyone another minute to get situated. So again, it's that link for Wonder. I will drop it in the chat one more time. Oops. I think it's popping up on my second screen here. So let me put it here. All right. Oh, thank you. Taylor's putting the link for the trolley trail updates. So that's again the link for Wonder. Click that if you plan on joining us. It should work with any browser that you're utilizing. Okay, if there are no further comments, I would say we will be closing this Zoom meeting. Thank you all so much for joining us for this online business roundtable. We really appreciate you being online with us and hope that you found all of the information useful. Our contact information is in the last slide, and we will be sharing all the materials in this recording on the city's website. All right, thank you everyone. We'll see you online in Wonder in just a moment. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.